Today I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Amelia Villasenor, and she works in our anthropology department, and she can tell us a little bit more about herself and what she does here at the University of Arkansas.
Hi, excuse me. I'm Dr. Amelia Villasenor, and I'm an assistant professor at the University of Arkansas. I study, so I'm in an anthropology department, but I actually study ancient environments, and particularly the environments of our ancient ancestors. And I also ask questions about extinction and how extinction affects ecosystems, particularly human-driven extinctions.
Okay. So what sparked your interest in anthropology?
So what sparked my interest in anthropology was actually kind of like an accidental discovery of it as an undergrad. So I was actually a painting major when I started out, but I started taking classes, and I took an intro class in biological anthropology and just loved it, loved learning about human evolution. And so I started taking more and more classes and discovered that anthropology was something that was just as creative, really, as painting, particularly the paleontological aspect, like getting to discover ancient worlds and reconstruct how they looked and what they would have been like and how the animals interacted with them allowed me to be just as creative as I was when I was painting. So I ended up, that's what really sparked my interest, was really discovering the creativity of science. And
So you do teach a few classes here, undergraduate and graduate level courses. So how does the research that you do influence your method of teaching in those courses?
So my research influences my teaching in that my research is very question-based. So for example, one of the questions that I really love that I'm working on right now is what happens when an animal goes extinct to the rest of the ecosystem? Like, what happens to all of the other animals that its interactions were important to? And when I'm teaching my classes, I'll often bring those questions into the classes, both undergrad and grad classes.
Are there any challenges that come up with collaborating with other researchers, and how would you work through those?
There's always challenges when you work with other people, generally. But what I've found, a lot of my research involves either working in the field, like in distant places like northern Kenya, where Dr. Plavkin works with other people. So in those situations, you really you have to be kind of flexible with yourself and others, and be empathetic and really get along with other people.
Yeah.
So often paleontology and doing any research really is not just about the research, but it's about figuring out how to work with other people, how to get to know people with lots of different personalities from different backgrounds as you, or we have researchers who are from lots of different countries that come together, so often we'll have very different cultural experiences. So just being accepting and open of all of those different collaborations, or of the people that are behind those collaborations, is really important.
Yeah, it sounds like people skills are just very, very important, which they definitely are. So what's it like collaborating with all of them? Do you get to collaborate with any of these other researchers in the research you're doing right now?
Yeah, actually Dr. Plavkin and I are working together on a site that Dr. Plavkin is the director of. And so he actually discovered a site that is about 200,000 years old, but there's two different hominins living there, he thinks, at the same time. And so I get to work with him to try to reconstruct the environments of that site, and I get to look at the animals that are there and look at the fossils that they find and tell them what kind of fossils they have, and help them really create a whole picture of what the environments and what kind of animals would have been living alongside the humans that live there.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds like it would be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.